to send money to Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, anywhere in Africa, download Afriex today. We have the best rate. Transactions are ridiculously fast. Yes. Ridiculously fast.
Yes.
Within 10 seconds, money has arrived. You've sent happiness home. All right?
Hey people, if you know you are a Nigerian in Canada, Africans, whatever continent you're from, I need to tell you about the Afriex app. It's going to help you to be able to transfer and convert your CADs to whatever currency you want to convert it to. You don't have any excuse to send your people money. Don't go and say, oh, you need to have a CAD account or dollar account. You can use it and send money to them in whatever currency. So download that app and start sending them money. Don't be stingy.
Don't be stingy. I hope you have downloaded the Afriex app. I and my family use Afriex to send money around the world. And if you use Afriex, you are not just getting best rate in town, you are also likely to get a bonus from Afriex. Afriex will be awarding many of you bonuses of $50 to $100 if you send money. And this is aside from you getting the best rate. So please make sure you download the Afriex app and use it to send money from US, from Canada, from Europe to different parts of the world. Hello, friends. Welcome to Choco Millionaire. Today is Friday, is the end of the week, and I have lots of updates for you. One of them here is what you see on the title there, massive deportations happening in Canada, massive deportations. So according to the Canada Border Services Agency, they have about 485,000 people in their database who are likely facing removal. Let's go straight into the details here, all right? So the data suggests that there are about 500,000 foreign nationals in Canada waiting for removal, which is basically deportation, including almost 30,000 who are wanted by officials, as well as some 21,000 people who can't be removed. The Canada Border Services Agency said it had 485,359 people in its removal inventory as of December 31, including 120,273 in Ontario and 197,029 in Quebec. About 123,000 were not assigned to any region. Last year, it was reported that 16,860 enforced removals, an 11% increase from 2023, reaching the highest level since 2019, when 11,276 people were removed from the country, according to the latest removal statistics released by the Canada Border Agency. Wow. So people, what I just read to you suggests that as at last year, December 2024, we are in February. Today is the last day of February. We have a total of 16,000 people who are facing deportation. Okay. It was reported that 16,860 people were facing deportation. Now, that figure represents an 11% increase from the previous year, which is 2023. And we are told that this particular percentage we are seeing of increments, which is 11% increase in deportation, equals the highest number or the numbers that we saw in 2019, which was just before COVID started. The number of people were deported around that time. And then COVID came and slowed things down. And now Canada is back to deporting more and more people. So let's look at the breakdown here. So over 7,000 people so far have been removed. Let's look at the countries that have the highest report. So I'm going to be reading this right here. This is from the Star, okay? The top 10 countries where these foreign nationals were sent back to were, number one, Mexico. Mexico had 3,579 nationals deported. Mexico had the highest number. 3,579 nationals were deported to Mexico. India comes in the second place with 1,932 people deported to India. 1,932 people were deported to India from Canada by December last year. Colombia comes third with 956 people. 956 Colombian nationals were deported from Canada by the end of last year, okay? Now, the next group of people come from Haiti. The country of Haiti had 806 people deported. Romania comes next with 653 of its nationals deported. Then the USA has 631 people deported from Canada to the USA. I will explain a little bit about the US figures there so that you don't think that American citizens were deported, okay? Then we also have China. 535 Chinese nationals were deported. Venezuela had 470 nationals deported. Pakistan from the Middle East had 392 nationals deported. And then the next one is Hungary with 366 people deported as well. Now, removing individuals who do not have the right to enter or stay in Canada is essential to maintaining the integrity of Canada's immigration program and to ensure fairness for those who come to this country lawfully, according to the report. That is what the report says there, all right? Now, among the people booted out of the country last year, 13,527 were failed refugees, and 2,261 were foreign nationals removed for non-compliance of immigration laws, while 771 people were removed due to criminality. 89 were involved in organized crime. 44 former protected people were forced to leave because they traveled back to their country from where they fled. And 145 were deported due to misrepresentation. The remaining 23 cases were unclassified. All right, friends, I will be going into some of the details. You probably want to tag your friends and share this video. There are so many immigration updates. I could literally do like 7 videos today. Time will not permit me, but this one I think is very important. We need to pay attention to it. Out of all removals last year, 1,176 deportees required escorts of border agents for public safety reasons. Escorted removals cost Canada $13,000 on an average. As at the end of last year, there were 485,395 names in the border agency's removal inventory. 404,206 requiring no action, including those awaiting asylum decisions. 20,722 classified as impossible to remove due to pending appeals. 29,936 were labeled wanted and can't be located. So about 30,000 people so far are being wanted in Canada, but they cannot be located. And 30,495 are listed as in progress. Refugee claimants accounted for 27,140 of the active files. Among the active removal in progress, all right, those who are facing removal and is in progress, the list includes the following: Mexicans, 7,806 Mexicans. India, 4,947. Americans, 1,813. Okay, thanks for the clarification there. Chinese, 1,523. Haitian, 980. Nigerian, 922 from Nigeria. Colombia, 857. Pakistanis, 828. Chilean, 512. Brazilian 495. People from other countries make up the remaining 1/3 of the pool. This report was filed by Nicholas Keon, who is with the Toronto Stars. All right. Now, I have also other reports here that I could also go through, but let me just briefly break this down. So the summary of what you're getting so far is that we have about 500,000 people in the database of Canada Border Services Agency that are facing removal. Now, these people are at different stages of the removal process. Some of them are also people who are waiting for a decision on their asylum cases. So that is about 500,000 there, about 500,000 there. Now, we are also told that 29,936 of these number cannot be located at all. They cannot be found. These people are, they've ghosted the system. They cannot be identified by the government. The government doesn't know. Basically, nowhere. That's how I understand it. Nowhere to be found, right? They are probably in the system, or maybe they have gone under the radar. They cannot be found. My best guess will be that some of them may have also crossed from here to the United States illegally. As you know, there are people who are smuggling people out of Canada into the US, especially those who have questionable status here. Some of them are being smuggled. All you need to do is look on TikTok and you see people advertising, actively advertising, crossing people from Canada into the US. This is one of the reasons why Donald Trump was also going hard on the border there, right? Of course, there is fentanyl and other issues there. But 29,936 people cannot be they cannot be located. They cannot be located at all. They are wanted, okay? They are labeled as wanted, okay, and can't be located. All right. Whilst we have 30,495 listed as in progress, so they are actually going through the removal process. I think what is pretty shocking is the fact that those who have their removals in progress, majority of them are from Mexico, 7,806. Then you have India with almost 5,000. Then you have America, and you have Chinese, and then you have Haiti, and then you have Nigeria, Colombia, Pakistan, Chile, Brazil, and what have you. Okay. Now, what to make of this is this. Basically, we are at a time of high numbers of deportation. As you see, we're told that the percentage of increment is 11%, that about 11% of people are getting deported. Now, what we want to be careful here is not to conclude that all of these numbers we are talking about, including the almost 500,000 people in the database of the Canada Border Services Agency, are people who are just asylum seekers. Not true. Not all of them are asylum seekers or refugees, all right? There are different people who are in there. Some of the people are in there because they did not comply with their visas. It could be student visas, people who came and didn't go to the school or committed 1 or 2 immigration violations here or there, and they were found. And I think the number is there. So let me just go and break the numbers down a little bit for you too, okay? All right, I think I have the numbers here. I really want to just hammer on those numbers there so that we do not think that they are all asylums. It's easy for people to just assume that these people are our asylum seekers, all right? Now, interesting, what you also want to pay at, I'll go into the numbers there. So if you look at the breakdown, majority of the removals are coming from Ontario, Canada's provincial capital, all right? 120,000 are from Ontario. Then Quebec comes second with 190. No, Quebec is actually the highest. Quebec has 197,000. Ontario comes second with 120,000. And then there is 123,000 distributed, or they were not assigned, so they will be for the other regions, right? Okay, so that is it there. And then we have the breakdown here for the different nationals. Now, let's look at the breakdown here. How many of these people were refugees or people who had failed refugee cases? Among the people booted out of the country last year, by December last year, 13,527 were failed refugees. Failed refugees. In other words, people who had refugee applications and then it just didn't go through, failed. That is huge, just in 1 year. Just look at that. In 1 year, 13,527 potential refugees had their cases not going through, and therefore are among the people who were booted out. Okay. Then we also have 2,261 were foreign nationals removed for non-compliance of immigration laws. So this would be anybody who held an immigration document and did just not comply with the conditions of the immigration document. It could be a student on a student visa who violated the conditions of his visa. It could also be somebody on a work visa who violated the conditions of their visas. Or it could also be somebody on maybe an ETA, came from Europe, and then violated the conditions of their visa. It could just be anybody at all who held an immigration document and were found not to be compliant with the immigration law at the time that they were here or at some point, all right? Now, there were also 771 people who were involved in organized criminality, crime. So these are people who probably are not yet citizens and were involved in some kind of criminal offenses or activities that were deemed to be deportation related or make them made it possible for them to be deported. All right. Then we also have 40. That's the part I really want you to pay attention to. I want you to pay attention to this, guys. If you're watching this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it to reach your friends. Okay. Now, this is the part I want you to pay attention to. 44 former protected people were forced to leave because they traveled back to their country, the country from where they fled. Wow, 44 people. What does it mean? Now, these were people who had their asylum cases successful, approved, became refugees. They are in Canada. And then they decided to travel back to these same countries that they told Canada immigration or Canada government that they are running away from. For many of you, I think there are times I've actually made a post about refugee-related cases, and then people go so hard in the comment section. They are like, hey, why shouldn't I be able to go to my home country as a refugee? It doesn't make sense. Are you telling me I shouldn't be able to? Well, you better start talking to your immigration lawyers or your caseworkers to understand the conditions that are attached to you becoming a refugee in a particular country. There is a certain period, a set time frame that you cannot travel to your home country as a protected person or refugee. Remember, your case will not have been approved if they found out that you could go to your home country without any threat on your life. You literally argued out with the help of your lawyer or maybe yourself that going back to your country is dangerous, risky, your life will be in danger, right? So it was approved for you, and all of a sudden you travel back. It casts credibility. It casts some doubt on the credibility of your asylum case, right? And there are people who forget themselves that they are refugees. They cannot go back within a certain time, a certain number of years. You cannot go back, at least until you become a Canadian citizen or a citizen of whichever country you're in. You cannot go back. If you forget yourself and then you just decide to buy a plane ticket and then go back, you know what happens? If they find out, they will literally cancel your refugee case and then they will deport you back since it's safe to go back, right? So I thought it's interesting for us to pay attention to that. 44 people were granted their refugee protection. They are refugees. They're on their pathway to maybe PR or maybe at some point citizenship. And then what happens? Found out that they violated the conditions of their refugee protection by going back to these same countries they said they fled, all right? All right, now, 145, okay, 145 right here, 145 were deported due to misrepresentation. I think this is pretty clear. So these are people who may have presented some material evidence or information at the time of an application, an immigration application, and then maybe the IRCC determined that what they said was not true, or they may have lied, or they may have, provided false information or something like that. That is what misrepresentation here typically means, right? And then it goes on and on and on and on and on. Now, there are so many people as well who are deported because of failed refugee claims. I mentioned the number is quite a huge number. There are many reasons why people fail a refugee process or asylum process does not go through, and then their cases are turned down, and so they have to be deported. It could be that the case, but by the way, I just want to be clear, I'm not an immigration lawyer, so I'm just sharing my personal opinion here. Do not quote me and say you heard this from an immigrant. I am not. You can tell I haven't even shaved my beard, isn't it? So please don't quote me on this. I'm being serious here, all right? If you need more information, go to the RCC website and read that, or consult a qualified licensed Canadian immigration lawyer or the lawyer in your country. This is about Canada, what is happening here. So there could be a lot of reasons why people's immigration cases or refugee or asylum cases don't go through at all. One, overall credibility of the story or the asylum case. If it's not strong enough, it lacks evidence, it's inconsistent, contradicting yourself, overall thing is not looking good, it could be thrown out, right? They could reject that. So many things. Some people also get snitched on, right? There are people who call and then snitch and say, hey, I know this person, Literally yesterday I was reading one from another country, Ireland, where somebody sought asylum and it was approved. I was literally reading this yesterday online, right? Should I mention the country? Maybe I should. So this person came from Pakistan. No, not Pakistan, sorry. Palestine, I believe it's Palestine, sought asylum in one of the European countries. I believe it's Ireland. I'm trying not to mention some of the details, all right, just to make sure I'm sensitive. But anyway, sought asylum, it was granted. He and the family all approved, and he was having a good time. He even posted it on social media. He and his family, in the car, having a good time, with a post like, there were no happy moment, asylum case approved. Wow, and then people started posting stuff showing that these people were actually not refugees, right? They were showing stuff that these people came from a different country where they were well established. There were so many things. People were literally posting. So that's the snitching part, where people who kind of, should I say, maybe hate your happiness or hate your success, decide to just snitch on you, right, to the government. And then they go make a case that, hey, your case is false. And then it presents that it happens. People do that. Basically, there are so many reasons why people's asylum cases are not approved. Overall strength of your case, the credibility of it, and all of that, all right? That is why if you are working through some of this, I believe you may have legal consultation or counsel from a lawyer who is seeing through and all of that, right? There are so many reasons why. Now, the reason why I decided, I know there are so many updates that you people are looking forward to. The reason why I decided to do this video is that deportations are often done and nobody hears about them. You may not hear your friends post online that they've been deported. You may not hear people talk about it. It doesn't even make it in the news so much. If not because of the atmosphere now in Canada and other places, you most likely will not even hear about these numbers of deportations. They happen on the quiet side before you realize the person is like gone, right? And people don't talk about it. But when you look at it, you realize that the numbers are huge. Just imagine, like one country alone, 13,000. India alone, about 5,000. Haiti, over 700. Just from one Canada in 1 year. That's huge. You know what I mean? But often at times, you don't go online and then you're seeing these stories. People are not sharing. People are not saying, hey, this is what happened. This is why. We may not even know why their cases went through those, why they were deported or why. We will know. You know what I mean? So I think that something like this is worth to be shared. Somebody who is watching me right now is probably, you are at the positive stage of your asylum case, your case has been approved and you are planning to buy a ticket because you didn't know or your lawyer didn't tell you. Well, good luck to you. If they found out, you definitely are on your way back. They will send you back, all right? So that is it there, refugee cases there. Now, here is my opinion, my personal opinion. This is why I share my opinion. I think that this year and next year, especially this year, there will be a lot more deportations happening, as you're saying in the USA. Canada's one is pretty unique because the government in power, which made a decision of allowing so many people into the country, is facing a lot of backlash from the citizens here. People are complaining about the number of people who are in the country and blah, 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 and the pressure it puts on resources. So the government decided to tighten things up. The tightening is not just happening in the student study program or student visa program area. It's not just happening on the LMI area. is also happening in the asylum. And I had predicted this probably over a year ago, that the asylum area or the refugee program is one of the areas that will undergo massive transformation. At least we can tell for a fact that they've suspended or paused private refugee sponsorship from outside. It was paused, right? It was paused. Now, they are still working through to see how best they can also go through the backlog of almost so many people who are in the database as asylum seekers or different people. I think they will be refusing a lot more. The numbers will go up more and more and more. There will be a lot of refusers, all right? Of course, if there is a refuser, there is also an opportunity for a judicial process to, seek a review and all of that. But I just think that the numbers will go up in terms of the percentage of people who will be deported. That will come from people who are on student visas, who are not obeying the conditions of their visas or documents. That will come from everywhere, basically everywhere, not just people who are on a visitor visa. Of course, people who are on a visitor visa may have sought asylum, and then maybe their cases, there will be a lot of removal. That is my first prediction. In fact, there is a data that I was looking at yesterday. I think there was another report. Let me just look for that. You can tell they've actually they've reduced the approval rate for visas eventually. And one of the areas that visa approvals has really gone down, or visa rejection has gone up, is visitors visa. Visitor visa refusals have gone up so much. Why is that a case? Because they probably have realized that a lot of people who came on visitors visas ended up seeking asylum. So therefore, if they want to deal with it, one of the areas they can do that is to make sure they are not allowing so many people into the country, so that it can actually lead to a reduction in asylum cases. Let me just look for that story and read it to you, okay? So bear with me here as I look for the story. Yeah, interestingly, as Canada is being tight on allowing more and more people in, there are other areas that they're allowing more and more people in as refugees. Guess where that area is? This one. All right. Let me just look for the official story from the official website. Right here. This one. Canada Immigration's website. You see it here? LGBT, the alphabet, right? Plus refugees. So as much as you are seeing deportations on their website here, they are saying that, Canada has a proud history of providing protection to and helping resettle those most in need. That includes those in there. You can continue for me. You see what I mean? So on the website, they say, yeah, Charlie, they have a resettlement program for you if you believe in the rainbow. You understand? Right? And then they have different organizations that I probably should put that in another video. Right? Yeah, so it looks to me that while some are being deported, there are also others who, especially now, I think there will be a lot of Americans who will probably be considering Canada just because there is a whole lot happening in the US. So LGBT folks in the US who don't feel like, the US is still the place for them, they will likely be, and Canada will definitely, you know what I'm trying to say, Canada will welcome them. They just, it's on the website. They have all kinds of organizations in place, right? So, yeah, government assisted refugee programs in place, if you fall in that category, right? You know what I mean? So many there. All right, let me read that story about the refusal rate. Okay, that is it. The refusal rate here. Where is it? This one right here. Okay, so I think I see it here. This is what I'm talking about. According to CTV News, Canada moves. All right, Canada has moved to grant fewer visas, seeing refugee claims drop. That's it here. So they are dropping visa approval rate across board, especially visitors visa. Massive reduction, more refusal. And they are saying that it is leading to a drop in refugee cases or asylum cases. Why? Because they are probably making that connection that more people who came in were seeking asylum. And so therefore, one of the ways to close the tap is not to let people come in or reduce the number. So that, yeah, about 11,000. Look at it. Let me read a bit of it. About 11,840 people, okay, filed refugee claims in Canada in January. But that has been down from a high of 19,821 in July. So within a space of 6 months, look at the drop from 19,821. Now it's at what? 11,000. So you can see a drop of about 8,000 there. Okay. Now, this was the lowest monthly figure since September 2023. Canada is publicly discouraging. I'm still reading, by the way. Canada is publicly discouraging asylum seekers and clamping down on the visas it issues. All right, aiming to gradually reduce the population and reduce the strain on services amid a broader backlash against migrants. That's exactly what I said, that there has been a broader backlash against the government regarding their immigration policies. Last year, Canada issued about 1.5 million visas. Last year, which is 2024, Canada issued 1.5 million visitor visas. But this number has gone down from 1.5. Okay, so we are saying, okay, it says that down from about 1.8 million in 2023. Whoa. So in 2023, 1.8 million visitors visas were issued. In 2024, 1.5. So that's a drop of 500,000, according to the gap. Now, what about this year? 2025 just started. It will likely drop them more. All right. The number of visitor visas granted to Bangladeshi citizens dropped by 27,975 from 45,000. So look at it. From 45,000 for Bangladesh visitor visa dropped to 27,000. That is about half, isn't it? Haiti. What about Haiti? The numbers dropped from 8,984 to 5,487. Haiti. Right there. Haiti. All right. Then Nigeria, visitors visa for Nigeria dropped. Okay, let me go back here. For Nigeria, then the figures dropped from 79,000 visitors visas to 51,000. 79,000 visitor visas to 51,000. So 79,378 Nigerians got visitor visas approved. But that number has now dropped to 51,000. So that is a difference of about 30,000. Visitor visas to some countries with high refugee acceptance rates have declined from 2023. Last year, Canada granted visitor visa to 330 Afghans, down from 468. 38,000 Iranians, down from 57,000. 2019 Ugandans, down from 6,000. What about Syria? Syria dropped from 2,700 visitor visas to 1,174. And what about Kenya? The numbers for Kenya dropped from 11,464. I should probably put it here for Kenya. All right. Kenya dropped from 11,464 to 3,000. So Kenya has seen percentage-wise a good chunk of visitor visa. So guys, this should explain why you are getting visitor visas refused. This is the way things are happening behind the scene. They are linking it to the refugee cases or asylum cases, most likely, per the report. And they believe that if they can drop the numbers down, it will keep the pressure down. Canada has no asylum seeker visas. Anyone wants to claim a refugee status must come in as a visitor or student worker or sneak into the country. No easy fit for a place surrounded by water and an agreement with the United States to turn back asylum seeker. That's the third country, safe country agreement, by the way. I'm still reading. For displaced people can also wait in refugee camps, potentially for years, in hopes they will be selected for resettlement. Canada is using a heightened scrutiny of visa applications from countries with the highest, look at it. So Canada is using heightened scrutiny of visa applications from countries with the highest rates of abuse. That's the word here they use, and they put it in quote, right? They put the word abuse, right, in quote. All right. If people, then it goes on. If it's a very problematic, said Diana, is very problematic, said Diana Gallego, co-executive director at the Toronto-based FCG Refugee Center, which provides services to asylum seekers. If people are fleeing persecution, the only way that some of them may find safe haven is having an exit visa, because if not, they are forced to cross borders. walking, putting their lives in danger. So Gallego is actually making a case for people who are coming in to seek the asylum here using the visa. Gallego said the center is seeing fewer people, although she does not know if they are being sent elsewhere. All right. So guys, that's a report from the CTV News. Let me know what you think about this. Drop your comments, share it in your WhatsApp groups to educate people as well. Yeah, if you didn't get anything at all, just remember, the fact that your asylum case has been approved or your refugee case has been approved does not mean you can just travel back to your home country. If they found out, they would normally cancel your refugee status document or protection and deport you back. There is a time period, I believe it's about 5 years. Well, not really 5 years. You ought to have moved from your refugee status to a permanent resident. Then from a permanent resident, you transition to a citizen. I believe that is a point where you can travel back to that country you fled. All right. Even though there is mostly no restriction on other countries you can travel to, which are not your home country or your country of birth. But the moment you claim you are fleeing a particular country, they expect you not to be going back to. It's basically like a wife or a wife who runs away from her matrimonial home to their neighbor's house and say, my husband my life is in danger, please protect me. And then the neighbors allow her in, you know what I mean? And she comes in, they give her a place to lay her head, eat, freshen up and stuff like that. And before they realize the woman has gone back, no, today didn't come. The woman has run back to the same husband. And then when you ask the woman, you say, why can't I go? That's my husband, why can't I go? Well, anybody that looks at it will say that, hey, either you are under spell or your husband has put you under spell. That's why you went back. Or you really did not have any real danger for leaving your husband. You know what I mean? Thanks for watching. My name is Choco Miller. And don't forget, this weekend, download the Afriex app. Send money within Africa using Afriex. Send money from Europe to Africa. Send money from Europe to India. Send money from Canada, USA to Africa to India. Get the best rate. If you use my name, Choco, in the promo code session, you will get $15 if you send $50. If you are also a gig worker or a contract worker working for countries like the USA or working for companies in the USA and you have difficulty receiving your salary directly sent to you in Africa or wherever you are, remember Afriex allows you to set up a global US dollar account with which you can use to receive your salaries and then move it into your preferred currency. Check out Afriex and let me know what you think. If you also refer Afriex by sending the referral link from your app to your friends, if they download it and they use it, you also will be getting some really good money. And Afriex allows you to actually use your referral bonuses that you earn to shop on Amazon, Uber, and a few other places. You can shop up to $200. You can use it to shop. I personally have been enjoying it. So that's a confirmation on the screen, guys. Look at it here. Afriex sent me this. This is a message from Afriex. Your referrer has unlocked exciting rewards. Redeem them now for up to $200 discount on Uber, Amazon, Nike, Apparel, ASOS, Fashion, TripAdvisor, AliExpress, Walgreens. So that is how you can use your referral bonuses that you get for using Afriex. Remember, the referral bonus is all about you copying the Afriex link, blast it in your WhatsApp group, send it to your family and friends. When they use it to send money, you get paid by Afriex for referring people. And then you are able to use it to redeem and shop at all these places you see on the screen. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you on the other side. I'll probably come your way with another video. Love you guys. See you. Bye-bye.